Good afternoon and welcome to the Public Service Commission of South Carolina. It is Thursday, March the 9th at 2 p.m. and we are here for our regularly scheduled business meeting. Let's take a roll call of commissioners. Present in the hearing room, we have Commissioner Justin Williams, Vice Chair Powers, and Chair Belser. With us virtually, we have Commissioner Caston, Commissioner Thomas, Commissioner Carol Lee Williams. I note for the record that Commissioner Irvin is on annual leave today. Please join me for a moment of silent reflection before we begin. Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Scarborough.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, and Vice Chair Powers, Commissioners. The first order of business is to set the next commission business meeting. Staff recommends that the next regularly scheduled meeting be held on Thursday, March 23rd at 2:00 p.m.
Thank you. Our next regularly scheduled business meeting will be March 23rd at 2 p.m.
Today we have a full agenda, 20 items on the utilities agenda and 10 items on the transportation agenda. Item number 1 is in docket number 2016-279C. This is a notice from IM Telecom, LLC, doing business as Infinity Mobile, of its revised Lifeline service offering.
Commissioners, with regard to utilities agenda item 1 is identified by Mr. Scarborough. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I have a motion.
Vice Chair Powers.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the commission accept for filing and informational purposes IM Telecom LLC doing business as Infinity Mobile's notice of revised Lifeline service offering. So moved.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Vice Chair Powers. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. The motion carries.
Item number 2 is in docket number 2000-600C, which is a notice of indirect transfer of control filed on behalf of Intrado Safety Communications Incorporated and Guardian U.S. Holdco, LLC.
With regard to utilities agenda item 2, is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Thomas.
I move that the commission accept as information the notice of indirect transfer of control filed on behalf of Intrado Safety Communications Incorporated and Guardian U.S. Holdco, LLC. We also instruct staff to post this directive order in docket number 2001-339-C. So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Thomas. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams.
Aye.
You want to say that again? Your microphone was not on.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 3 is in docket number 2013-124C. This is a request from Broadwing Communications, LLC and Global Crossing Telecommunications Incorporated for continued waiver from filing monthly South Carolina Telecommunications Relay Fund invoices because neither company offers local services in the state.
With regard to utilities item 3, as identified by Mr. Scarborough, is there a motion?
Chair Belser, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams.
I move that the commission approve the request for continued waiver from filing monthly South Carolina Telecommunications Relay Fund invoices. Broadwing Communications and Global Crossing Telecommunications do not currently offer local access line service and thus have no information to file. The companies shall have this waiver from this requirement until March 9th, 2024.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Williams. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, starting with Commissioner Carol Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The motion carries.
Item number 4 appears in docket number 2004-48C. This is a notice from Spectratel of the South LLC that it has amended its name to read Spectratel Services LLC.
With regard to utilities agenda item 4, is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Thomas.
by letter dated December 16, 2022, Spectratel Incorporated and Spectratel Ultimate Holdings LLC provided notice to the Commission of a pending transaction would result in a change of the ultimate control of Spectratel of the South LLC, doing business as Touch-Base Communications, which holds a certificate of public convenience and necessity in South Carolina. This change of control occurred at the parent company level and involved no change in the assets of the regulated entity, Spectratel of the South LLC, doing business as Touch-Base Communications, and did not affect the certificated entity's daily management or operations. By order number 2023-96, dated February the 9th, 2023, the Commission accepted as information the notice of the pending transfer of control at the parent company level. By letter dated February the 23rd, 2023, Spectratel Incorporated provided notice to the Commission that the transaction described in the December 16th, 2022 letter was consummated on January the 18th, 2023. Additionally, Spectratel Incorporated provided notice that it had changed its name to Spectratel Services LLC pursuant to its conversion from a corporation to a limited liability company. I move that the Commission accept the notice of Spectratel Incorporated, a parent of Spectratel of the South LLC, doing business as Touch-Base Communications, which is the holder of the Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity in South Carolina, has changed its name to Spectratel Services LLC. So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Thomas. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. The motion carries.
Item number 5 appears in docket number 2022-369E. This is a request from Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated for approval of a form purchase, finance, security, installation, operation, and maintenance agreement for electric vehicle charging facilities without notice or hearing.
Commissioners, we've heard agenda item 5 identified by Mr. Scarborough. Is there a motion?
Chair Belser, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams.
Thank you. I move that the Commission approve the settlement agreement reached between Dominion Energy South Carolina, Inc. and the Office of Regulatory Staff in this docket. The settlement agreement provides for approval of Dominion's request to install electric vehicle charging equipment on the premises of participating commercial customers. The 4-year pilot program will allow the participating ratepayer to finance all or a portion of the cost of installation via on-bill financing. The result is the creation of an on-bill financing pilot program, or OBF pilot program. No cost resulting from this program will be collected from non-participating ratepayers. The cost other than the normal electric rate portion of the on-bill finance pilot shall be reflected on the participating ratepayer's bill as a separate line item. The on-bill financing pilot shall be open for a period of 4 years for eligible commercial customers. And Dominion shall report to the Commission and ORS updates on the status of the on-bill financing pilot program on an annual basis. The commission recommends regarding the final stipulated reporting element, insights learned by the company, that the following be considered for reporting. Estimated number of transactions serviced at the on-bill financing recharging facilities, the general geographic distribution of the on-bill financing recharging facilities, charging demand and energy consumed during on-peak and off-peak hours, observations regarding time of use, peak grid impact, and any other lessons learned related to grid reliability. And finally, annual uptime or availability of EV charging stations. The commission notes that this is a pilot program and that South Carolina annotated 58-27-106B states that any increases associated with transportation electrification shall not be found revenues for an electrical utility. The commission notes that the settlement agreement determines that the financing of this pilot program is below the line, meaning the company shareholders are financing the program. Should this program shift from being a pilot program to a long-term program, this provision will need to be addressed. I so move.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Carol Lee Williams. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Carol Lee Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston? Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams?
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Commissioner Caston, could I get you to repeat your vote? We could barely hear you.
Yes, ma'am. Aye, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Items.
Sorry, the motion carries. Thank you.
Item numbers 6 through 10 appear in dockets numbered 2023-46E, 2023-47E, 2023-48E, 2023-49E, and 2023-50E, all of which are requests for acceptance of power purchase agreements between Duke Energy Carolinas LLC and various hydroelectric generation facilities. Staff recommends carrying over items 6 through 10 to allow the Office of Regulatory Staff sufficient time to review them.
Thank you, Mr. Scarborough. Items 6 through 10 will be carried over.
Item number 11 is in docket number 2016-149E. This is Duke Energy Progress LLC's request for approval of an adjustment to its existing residential Smart Saver program.
With regard to utilities, agenda item 11 is identified by Mr. Scarborough. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Vice Chair Powers.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Duke Energy Progress LLC is seeking approval to modify and expand its existing residential Smart Saver program by adding multifamily residents to the list of eligible residence types. ORS has reviewed the filing submitted by Duke Energy Progress and has issued and reviewed discovery pertaining to the projected costs associated with the modification and net loss revenues. ORS does not object to Duke Energy Progress' request to modify the existing program and corresponding tariff, and also does not object to the request that associated costs of the program be eligible for recovery through the demand side management energy efficiency rider in accordance with the approved cost recovery mechanism. However, ORS seeks to reserve the right to review the actual costs of the program and make recommendations related to the program in subsequent dockets where the costs associated with the program may be examined. I move that the Commission approve Duke Energy Progress LLC's adjustment to its existing residential Smart Saver program, which was formerly known as the Residential Home Energy Improvement Program. Further, I move, as with any EEDSM program, the actual costs associated with the program are subject to the review by ORS and any other party in dockets where EEDSM costs are subject to review under the approved cost recovery mechanism. So move.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Vice Chair Powers. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Vice Chair Powers.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. The motion carries.
Item number 12 appears in docket number 2008-324E, which is Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated's filing of the First Amendment to the amended and restated letter of credit and reimbursement agreement filed pursuant to Commission Order number 2008-651.
With regard to utilities, agenda item 12, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I have a motion.
Commissioner Justin Williams,
Madam Chair, fellow commissioners, I move that the commission accept for filing the First Amendment to the amended and restated letter of credit and reimbursement agreement filed pursuant to Commission Order 2008-651. So moved.
Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Justin Williams. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Justin Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner Carolee Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. The motion carries.
Item number 13 is in docket number 2022-351E. This concerns a letter from the South Carolina Public Service Authority, also known as Santee Cooper, requesting clarification regarding questions submitted by PA Consulting Group, Incorporated.
Commissioners, with regard to agenda item 13, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I have a motion.
Commissioner Justin Williams.
Thank you, ma'am. If our producers would pull up a slide. I have a motion, Madam Chair, fellow commissioners. I just need the slide deck to show you how I got there. So we're going to talk about the Public Service Authority's CPRE program and the third-party expert that we identified back on 29 September 2022. We hired PA Consulting on 1 November 2022. The Public Service Authority filed their CPRE application, and I think everyone can read and follow along. We went through 9 steps that led us up to 15 February 2023, where the Public Service Authority filed a letter seeking clarification on our expert's role. That's what the motion today will seek to clarify. So the first RFI that PA Consultants sent to the commission was to determine how they would participate, whether or not they would be listed as a participant or listed under some other nomenclature. One of our PSC attorneys responded to that request for information, and it was during the Thanksgiving week, and so they got back with them on November 30th, 2022, and that's when when PA Consultant was notified that they would be considered a participant. And in addition to that, we put some procedures on the docket for that December 8th business meeting. And if you remember, we voted to adopt the procedures that you see here: direct testimony, rebuttal, surrebuttal, and the hearing, so forth and so on, like we normally do in proceedings before the commission. But in addition to that, we also identified the role that we wanted PA Consulting to play. And this is the opportunity to clarify. We used consultants and experts. And I guess they could be used interchangeably, but I think for this proceeding, and probably for proceedings in the future, we have the opportunity to be a little more clear, and we'll get to that. But anyway, we said we wanted PA Consulting to review all testimony, review the hearing, generate a report, and be prepared to testify on that report at the end of the hearing. There was another RFI that was sent out to the PSC on 15 December. And in that RFI, PA Consultants wanted to know how they should communicate questions for the Public Service Authority, essentially discovery. And so our PSC attorney responded the same day and asked them to file them on all parties, which they did. And we then put those questions on the DSM. That was 21 December 2022. Then on 15 February 2023, we got a letter from Attorney Ashley Cooper, who represents the Public Service Authority, and he sought to clarify the role of the consultant, specifically the authority to conduct discovery. And the request from Mr. Cooper, or Attorney Cooper, I should say, makes sense because here in our December 8th directive, I think we intended for that to be the case. Matter of fact, I believe when I voted on this, that the intent was for PA consultant to serve as a independent third-party expert that would participate in discovery and not advise the commission, but serve as that independent third party to ensure that the PSA's CPRE program was congruent with the law and generate a report and then testify. So what Mr. Cooper is asking from the commission is clarification on what authority the consultant would have to conduct discovery in this case. And so I want to transition to the law here. And this is where I believe the expert has authority to participate in discovery. And this is South Carolina Code annotated 5831-227. It's paragraph A. The highlights and the underlined sentence were added for emphasis, and I'm just going to read from there. The commission may not grant approval unless the commission finds and determines that the Public Service Authority satisfied all requirements of this section and the proposed program is in the best interest of the customers of the Public Service Authority, period. The commission may adopt procedures to implement the requirements of this section, and I'm stopping there. So that last couple of words, last clause, the commission may adopt procedures to implement requirements of the section. I believe that's what we attempted to do on December 8th. There was just some things that we did not include which apparently led to some confusion, which is understandable. And so I believe the authority lies in 5831-227. And just for good measure, there's a South Carolina budget proviso that essentially gives us the funding to hire an expert in this matter. And the highlight and the underline or the line there under the sentence were added for emphasis. And I'm going to read that. The Public Service Commission is authorized to employ through contract or otherwise third-party consultants and experts in carrying out its duties for purposes of reforming Santee Cooper. So based off that, Madam Chair and fellow commissioners, I move that the commission clarify its December 8th, 2022 directive order number 2022-830 by the following steps. 1, identify PA consultants as the independent third-party expert and use that nomenclature and none other. 2, clarify that PA consultants as independent third-party expert has not and will not advise the commission in this docket. PA consultants will participate in this docket by conducting discovery, reviewing all filings, reviewing all testimony, creating a report that summarizes and articulates their findings, and provide testimony about the Public Service Authority CPRE program and its congruence with Act 90. Number 3, clarify that PA Consultants has authority to conduct discovery based on the PSC's interpretation of South Carolina Code annotated section 5831-227A that gives the commission authority to adopt procedures to implement the requirements of the law. Number 4, instruct PA consultants to address discovery requests to the Public Service Authority and file them with the Public Service Commission Chief Clerk and file them also on all parties. Number 5, the Public Service Authority will respond directly to PA consultants with responses to any discovery requests. No discovery responses will be filed on DMS. And finally, number 6, the Public Service Authority may require a confidentiality agreement with PA consultants to protect confidential information. So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Commissioners, We've heard the motion from Commissioner Williams. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Thomas?
thank you. I would just like to say thanks to Commissioner Justin Williams for the work that he has put into this, and I agree and will be supporting your motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Commissioners, further discussion? Commissioner Williams, if I could, I just want to clarify when you use the term independent third-party expert, that envisions PA Consulting in that role not communicating with us other than matters that they file on DMS or what we're really anticipating is their final report. Is that correct?
That's correct, Madam Chair. No communication with the commission or commission staff at all.
Really, I mean, the only thing that would come before us would have to be filed on the DMS and other parties might be a procedural type question, which everybody would have to be, all the parties would need to be notified of. Is that your understanding?
Yes, ma'am. That's my intent. And I note that there are some correspondence between PA Consultants and one of the PSC attorneys here through DMS, and I think that was due to there not being a clear understanding of the role that they would play. I mean, I think they understood it, but the mechanics were not completely worked out. So there really shouldn't be a need for any more of that. I further note that all of that contact was through DMS, and that no commissioner or no commission staff has had any direct contact outside of DMS, outside of what's listed on DMS and what has been broadcast here in our hearing room with PA Consultants.
And even on those emails, when you were showing them on the screen, I noted that they were that all parties were copied on those. I think the initial one from PA Consulting was sent directly to the attorney, but in responding, he copied all the parties so that there was no and on that procedural question, so there was no ex parte there.
That's correct.
And then finally, if we go back to the December directive, the December 8th directive order, that indicated that the initial hearing would begin in June. There would be a couple of weeks or so before the PA Consulting report would be due, and that we would reconvene later in July for PA Consulting to present testimony about their report and allow any of the parties to ask questions or cross-examine. Is that your understanding as well?
That is also correct.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate you responding to my questions. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Justin Williams.
I vote aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner Carol Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. The motion carries.
Item number 14 is in docket number 2023-61E. This is a request for approval of a letter agreement between Spirax Sarco and Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated, and a request for confidential treatment of the agreement.
Commissioners, we've heard agenda item 14 identified by Mr. Scarborough. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, this is Commissioner Caston. I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Caston, you have the floor.
I move that the commission approve the letter agreement between Spirax Sarco and Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated for the one-time retirement of green attributes by Dominion on Spirax Sarco's behalf. Further, I move that this approval be effective as of February 8th, 2023, which is the effective date of the letter agreement. I also move that the commission grant the request for confidential treatment of the agreement. ORS has reviewed Dominion's request for approval, has issued and reviewed discovery pertaining to the process and registration of the assets affected by the letter agreement, as well as associated costs of the registration and retirement of the assets. And ORS does not object to approval of Dominion's letter agreement with Spirex. ORS does state it reserves the right to review and make recommendations on the accounting and regulatory treatment associated with the transaction applied by Dominion in a future rate proceeding. I so move.
Thank you, Commissioner Caston. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Caston. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams,
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers,
Aye.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams,
I vote aye.
and the chair votes aye. The motion carries.
Item number 15 appears in docket number 2019-290WS, which is a twofold request. Part 1 is from Blue Granite Water Company for approval of a new professional service contract with Clearwater Solutions, LLC, and for confidential treatment of the agreement. And Part 2 involves the Office of Regulatory Staff's request for confidential treatment of a letter and an exhibit submitted to the Commission on February the 23rd, 2023.
Thank you, Mr. Scarborough. Commissioners, with regard to agenda item 15, is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Thomas,
I move that the commission approve Blue Granite Water Company's operations and maintenance agreement with Clearwater Solutions, LLC, and grant their request for confidential treatment of the agreement. I further move that the commission approve ORS's request for confidential treatment of the letter and exhibit filed on February 23rd, 2023. ORS and other parties shall maintain the right to review and challenge any expenses related to the agreement in any subsequent general rate proceeding. So move.
thank you, Commissioner Thomas. I believe I note that Commissioner Caston is recused in this docket.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Thomas. We'll proceed. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to the roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams,
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers,
Aye.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams.
I vote aye.
The chair votes aye. The motion carries.
Item number 16 is in docket number 2022-370WS. This is a filing of notice from CSWR, South Carolina Utility Operating Company, LLC, of compliance with Commission Order number 2023-39 concerning an operations and maintenance agreement with Clearwater Solutions, LLC.
With regard to Utilities Agenda Item 16, is there a motion?
Have a motion, Madam Chair.
Vice Chair Powers,
Thank you. I move the commission accept CSWR South Carolina Utility Operating Company LLC's filing for compliance with Directive Order 2023-39 dated January 12, 2023, which requires the company to provide notice to customers informing them of the approved agreement between CSWR South Carolina and Clearwater Solutions and the services Clearwater Solutions will be performing. CSWRSC provides affidavits of mailing to each of the customer groups affected by the new agreement pursuant to the notice process required by Commission Order 2023-39. So move.
thank you, Vice Chair Powers. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Vice Chair Powers. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Caston,
just as in the previous item, I will be recusing myself on this one too. Probably overly abundance of caution because of a previous contractual arrangement I had with Clearwater Services some years back, but I just wanted that for the record.
thank you, Commissioner Caston. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 17 appears in docket number 2023-62G, which involves the filing of a service agreement for natural gas on an interruptible basis and a transportation agreement between Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated and the Upcycle Company LLC.
With regard to agenda item 17, as identified by Mr. Scarborough, is there a motion?
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Justin Williams.
Madam Chair, fellow commissioners, I move that the commission accept for filing the service agreement for natural gas on an interruptible basis and transportation agreement between Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated and Upcycle Company LLC. So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Justin Williams. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, starting with Commissioner Justin Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. The motion carries.
Item number 18 is in docket numbers 2020-129G and 2021-179G. This is a request for approval of Amendment 1 to an agreement for transportation service with firm gas standby between Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated and Cubby Incorporated.
With regard to agenda item 18, is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Thomas.
I move the commission accept for filing Amendment 1 to the agreement for transportation service with firm gas standby between Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated and Cubby Incorporated.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Thomas. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 19 appears in docket number 2022-168A. This is a request from the Office of Regulatory Staff for approval of the proposed semi-annual reporting schedules required by Directive Order number 2023-67 and for allowance for utilities to file comments regarding these semi-annual reports.
With regard to utilities, agenda item 19, as identified by Mr. Scarborough, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams.
Thank you. I move that the commission grant until Monday, April 10th, 2023, for the parties of record to comment on the proposed reporting schedule offered by the Office of Regulatory Staff.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Carol Lee Williams. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Carol Lee Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 20 is in docket number 2013-298E, which is a request from Duke Energy Carolinas LLC for approval of an adjustment to its existing residential Smart Saver program.
With regard to utilities, agenda item 20, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, this is Commissioner Caston. I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Caston, please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Duke Energy Carolinas LLC is seeking approval to modify and expand its existing residential Smart Saver program by adding multifamily residences to the list of eligible residence types. The proposed modification will increase the number of eligible participants by adding multifamily residents to the list of program participants. ORS has reviewed the filing submitted by Duke Energy Carolinas and has issued and reviewed discovery pertaining to the projected cost associated with the modification and net lost revenues. ORS does not object to Duke Energy Carolinas' request to modify the existing program and corresponding tariff and also does not object to the request that associated costs of the program be eligible for recovery through the DSM-EE rider in accordance with the approved cost recovery mechanism. However, ORS seeks to reserve the right to review the actual cost of the program and make recommendations related to the program in subsequent dockets where the cost associated with the program may be examined. I so move.
Thank you, Commissioner Caston. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Caston. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams,
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers,
Aye.
Commissioner Carolee Williams,
I vote aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
Madam Chair, that completes the utilities agenda before the commission. So moving on to the motor carrier agenda. Item numbers 1 through 8 are requests for Class C certificates. Staff recommends that these items be taken together, and I will review them for the commission. Item number 1 appears in docket number 2023-53T, which is the application of Troy Johnson Intergenerational Daycare Incorporated for a Class C non-emergency certificate. Item number 2 is in docket number 2023-54T. This is the application of Hopewell Senior Daycare Incorporated for a Class C non-emergency certificate. Item number 3 is in docket number 2023-55T. This is the application of York Superior Transportation, LLC for a Class C non-emergency certificate. Item number 4 is in docket number 2023-56T. This is the application of Nathan Barr Jr. doing business as Barr's Transport Services for a Class C taxi certificate. Item number 5 is in docket number 2023-57T. This is the application of St. Paul Baptist Church Incorporated doing business as St. Paul Baptist Church Adult Daycare for a Class C non-emergency certificate. Item number 6 is in docket number 2023-58T. This is the application of Witchers, LLC for a Class C non-emergency certificate. Item number 7 is in docket number 2023-60T. This is the application of Compassionate and Purpose-Driven Medical Transportation Services, LLC for a Class C non-emergency certificate. And item number 8 is in docket number 2023-64T. This is the application of GNL Charters and Tours, LLC for a Class C charter bus certificate.
Commissioners, we've heard transportation agenda items 1 through 8 identified by Mr. Scarborough. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Vice Chair Powers,
I move that the commission approve the applications for Class C certificates and items numbers 1 through 8 as listed by Mr. Scarborough. So moved.
thank you, Vice Chair. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Vice Chair Powers. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner Carolee Williams,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 9 is in docket number 2009-151T. This is a request from Malzone Russell doing business as Basic Moving to amend a Class E household goods certificate number 9777 to reflect statewide authority.
With regard to transportation agenda item 9, is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Thomas,
I move that the commission grant the request of Malzone Russell doing business as Basic Moving to amend Class E household goods certificate number 9777 to reflect statewide authority.
thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Thomas. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams,
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers,
Aye.
Commissioner Carolee Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 10 is in docket number 2020-233T, which is a request of Swamp Rabbit Moving LLC for approval to use an electronic bill of lading.
With regard to transportation, item 10 is identified by Mr. Scarborough. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, this is Commissioner Caston. I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Caston, you're recognized.
I move that the commission grant the request of Swamp Rabbit Moving LLC to use an electronic bill of lading. So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Caston. Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Caston. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Justin Williams,
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers,
Aye.
Commissioner Carol Lee Williams,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, this concludes all business noticed before the Commission today.
Thank you, Mr. Scarborough. Our next regularly scheduled business meeting will be Thursday, March 23rd at 2 p.m. Hope everyone has a good afternoon. Thank you, and we are adjourned.